lay my cigar, lay it flat on the floor. The east and the west, their battle won't matter. Only the music can settle the score. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turning to bone. So rock till you die. Yeah, bones reflecting my eyes, and when they eat my flesh, but I got the power to win all the hours to rock my life away. The sound of the crowd, the creak of the bones, I play it so loud with my mates or alone. It don't really matter if my world should shatter. I hold it together till I turn to stone. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turning to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turning to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turn back to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turning to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die.
Oh, hi, audience. What's up? It's Greg Sestero here to introduce you to the True Blue RiffCast, where they talk about amazing movies, bad movies, and everything in between. So you're listening to the True Blue RiffCast. Enjoy it.
Thanks, Greg. This is the True Blue RiffCast, the #1 RiffTrax podcast in the world. I am Jeremy, and I am joined, as always, by...
Hey, it's me. I'm Dave. Happy January 6th, everybody. I've got my Viking hat on. I've got my face paint.
No,
shirtless.
Dave, no.
And I'm
no,
shirtless.
No.
So we are rip roaring ready to go.
Dave. Welcome back from the edit, everyone. Too bad I can't do that anymore. Oh, man. But hey, we made it through another year.
Yeah, we sure did.
We are here once again to recap and discuss the best riffs of 2021 as voted on by you, the fans, and our own personal picks here. We did have some kind of interesting results in the poll. We will be getting to that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Shortly. But first, we want to talk about our plans starting off Season 4 of the True Blue RiffCast next week. We will be talking about Jack the Giant Killer.
Yes.
That's
going to be episode 1.
Episode 1 is Jack the Giant Killer. Because tomorrow, we will have news about tomorrow in a little bit later. But yeah, we're going to start off by talking about Jack the Giant Killer. 100%. We will be talking about that movie. That will be the first movie that we talk about. We'll probably pick another VOD to discuss. Maybe not. I don't know yet. Because we're also going to be talking about the first couple episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. Because
Book of Boba Fett.
We like Star Wars, and we did it with the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, so it just kind of makes sense for us to do with Book of Boba Fett. And of course, we will be doing that at the end of our episodes, because we don't want to
we
drive
found
people
out
away
we're
with spoiler
doing-
talk.
Yeah, but people, yeah. Well, also, I mean, this is the True Blue RiffCast,
Right.
The #1 RiffTrax podcast in the world.
Yeah. So we should talk about
so,
RiffTrax first.
We should talk about RiffTrax, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
In these episodes, I don't know.
Josh says
So,
lies. I don't think he believes us that we're going to be talking about Jack the Giant Killer.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him for being skeptical, because we've only been talking about doing it since November.
Yeah. I was listening. I actually played some rerun episodes last night, and it was one from the beginning of November, and we were talking about we were going to do Jack the Giant Killer along with what was it? Savage was the one that we were talking about that night, and we talked too much about Savage because there was a lot to discuss with that movie. But before we get
I don't
into,
even remember Savage anymore. What was Savage again?
that was the Were Caveman, where the guy was like,
all right. Oh, wow, it has been a while then.
Yeah. Before we get into that, and before we take a look at our weekend box office, I have something special to show you. And I'm saying show you because I'm going to be showing this in the stream. But it's we got to take a look at our buddy James Wen's.
Yes, our buddy.
Our buddy James Wen's Twitter feed, something we like to do here. And well, there's something interesting. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit first so you can see this. We talked about this painting last week.
Yes.
The climate change, global warming, endless wildfire, year-round, worldwide, called Orange Sky by Ryan Martin, which he's the guy who did the sea eagle painting with the swirly blue background and the swirly bird. And this is a swirly fire.
To be reminiscent of The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh.
Yeah. And then he made this one, which is just called Burning Tree, which is still in the same, wildfires, blah, blah, blah. And then hang on to your pants, people, because this last one was ridiculous.
Pants.
Yes. He did a painting of James Wan. Oh, my God.
Guys, I haven't seen this yet. I'm on my phone, and I'm too lazy to open my laptop.
Oh,
so I haven't seen it yet.
Goodness.
I'll look at it after the podcast. But Jeremy, how glorious is it?
It's amazing. I think I might make this my Facebook profile picture for a little while. Well, no, I can't.
Okay.
I can't because he's friends with me on Facebook, and he'd probably, if he sees that.
You know what you should do? Retweet it and quote retweet it and at RiffTrax in it. And at everybody, at Connor, at the Thomason, just at everybody we know, at Torgo's Pizza.
Yeah, I'm
at
I'm gonna do that live right now. It's gonna go live.
We're gonna
quote tweet.
Kevin Murphy at KW Murphy.
Yeah.
And at Bill Corbett.
Oh, definitely. Bill Corbett and at
and then all our friends, Connor, Sean, and Eric.
Yep. Doesn't get much better than live tweeting.
Yes. Oh, be sure to.
God, I love the face on this.
Be sure to at me in that too. Say, at D Chadwick Author sent his regards or some crap like that.
Torgo's Pizza. And Jason, we got to send it to our buddy Jason Miller.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably enough. There we go. Good Lord. This picture. I can't even describe it. Yeah, live tweet skills at work. Yes, you're right. You're right, Atomic Hero Squad. He kind of looks like Bobby Hill.
Did you include me in that one?
Yes, I
Because
did.
I wanted to get updates on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He kind of looks like Bobby Hill. I'm not gonna lie.
He looks like.
Oh man.
Yes, I want to
Okay.
get alerts on that thread.
Yes. All right. So now we can move on from that horror show, and we can talk about the weekend at box office, and we have a little bit of fun news with that. Spider-Man: No
Fun
Way Home
news.
is now the 10th highest grossing movie domestically of all time.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. So that, of course, is still at
Confession?
number 1. Yes. I
I saw it again yesterday. I've seen it. It's the first movie I've seen twice in the theater in a really long time.
Nice. I really want to go see it again. I might go this weekend. Sing 2 in second place. The King's Man in third. American Underdog, the story of Kurt Warner, in at fourth, and The Matrix Resurrections at fifth place.
Yeah, I've heard not great things about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very very self-aware, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of because it kind of pokes fun at itself a little bit. But I choose to look at it as kind of a little more satirical because they basically said, "Hey, Lana Wachowski, you need to do this fourth movie," and so this is what they came up with, And it if you look at it that way, then it's brilliant. It's almost like choosing to look at Starship Troopers and claiming it's brilliant satire and stuff like that.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Which I know is a sore subject between the two of us here on the
I have very
True Blue
strong
Riffcast.
opinions. I have
Yeah,
very strong
we,
opinions about Starship Troopers that we're not going to get into. Jeremy knew he was rolling the dice by even bringing it up because he knows, Jeremy knows, that if you put a quarter in me, you got to let me play the whole song, as they say in Ant-Man. Okay? So I'm going to let this be the song that I'm playing instead of me going off about Starship Troopers and Paul Verhoeven, that pile of crap.
Yes,
So,
I do
anyway.
agree. Atomic Hero Squad. They said it was a movie that didn't really need to be made, and yes, indeed, it definitely was. Matrix was a movie that did not need to be made. But we can move on from that now, and we can actually start taking a look at our poll results for the True Blue Riffcast unofficial fan poll, Best of RiffTrax 2021. I think was the full title.
Unofficial. Oh, you mean if something's official, it has to be sanctioned by RiffTrax.
By RiffTrax, right? Because this is just the fan thing. This is just by us. It's got nothing to do with anybody who works at RiffTrax, just like our podcast, unless we have them on as a guest. That's the only time they have anything to do with us. Let's see. We had an extra category this year. Because
we had so many shorts.
There were so many shorts that were released by Bridget and Mary Jo. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shorts released by Bridget and Mary Jo this year, and none by Shauner and Con.
By Con and Shauner.
Yes. But we had so our categories this year: RiffTrax presents Shorts of the Year. RiffTrax presents VOD of the Year, RiffTrax Short of the Year, RiffTrax Just the Jokes of the Year, RiffTrax Live of the Year, which of course this year we only had 2, but it's better than last year, and RiffTrax VOD of the Year. Yes, hopefully more Sean and Connor soon. I agree, Josh Flowers. Their shorts that they did were outstanding, and we will be discussing this later
we will
on after
that's a thing.
We do have some stuff to talk about after this.
Yeah.
But let's just dive in for RiffTrax presents Short of the Year. And the number one short according to the fans, how to have a money-making garage sale with Phyllis Diller. That way completely ran away with it. Over 50% of the vote went to that. The only one that was close to it was The Lady in the Rocket, and then third place was It's a Cat's Life. But yeah, how to have a money-making garage sale with Phyllis Diller was so good. It was so good. Like, I mean, come on, you got Phyllis Diller involved, you already know you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
But he was very, very entertaining, very well done by Bridget and Mary Jo. And now this one does have fewer overall votes than the rest of the categories, because I didn't make any of the categories mandatory, because I know some people don't watch, like just the jokes, or maybe they didn't see the lives or anything like that. But the next category actually has almost as many votes as the main VOD category. But yes, I do agree with the fan thing on here. The fan vote, it matches mine. How to have a money-making garage sale with Phyllis Diller is the best that they released from Bridget and Mary Jo short-wise this year. Now we get to move on. Now, this one's interesting. The RiffTrax Presents VOD of the year, because this is how they started the year off last year.
Yeah,
they started us off.
We did a whole episode. We did a whole episode about this, and Matthew J. Elliott came on and broke the podcast.
Yeah.
So...
but they started out with Invasion of the B-Girls. That was their first release from RiffTrax. And we've got Invasion of the B-Girls, Earth Angel, The Veil Part 1, Flash Gordon Part 1, Mother of the Bride, Lucky Day, Before I Say Goodbye, Married Too Young, Teenage Space Vampires, The Veil Part 2, and He Sees You When You're Sleeping. And the number one fan choice, Invasion of the B-Girls, followed very closely by the second choice, Earth Angel, and that was also followed very closely by Teenage Space Vampires. Less than 6% dividing first place and third place there.
Well, I'll tell you what, this one surprised me because I expected Earth Angels to take it.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. I was
generally people vote for Bridget and Mary Jo. Bridget and Mary Jo are immensely popular, and in these kinds of, even when I did this stuff over at the Riff Wiki, people tend to vote for Bridget and Mary Jo over Matthew and Ian. That's not a judgment on anybody. It's just how it is. So I kind of expected Earth Angel to run away with it. But hey, congrats to Matthew and Ian for getting RiffTrax Presents VOD of the year, man. Because the Invasion of the B-Girls was outstanding as well.
Yes. The one that surprised me on here was Teenage Space Vampires. Like, I was excited about that because I had seen the movie. I'd done a write-up on the movie, like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And I saw that they were doing it, so I was super excited. But I wasn't aware that it was that popular with the fan base. So that's awesome. Josh says their trophies are in the mail.
Yes, that's right. And speaking of those guys.
Yeah, speaking of those guys, we have a very, very special message from them that I'm going to be playing right now.
Here in merry old England,
we put an E on the end of everything to pass it off as heritage and hope we can charge more.
and we also look on this holiday season as the hinge of the year.
Quite a rusty hinge at my age.
Can we say rusty hinge?
Yeah.
It's a time when we look forward to the future.
In utter despair.
It looks terrible, and such small portions.
Are we still allowed to quote that?
Probably not. And we reflect upon the past.
Oh, God.
We've got loads of past now. We're putting an E on the end of it and trying to sell it.
More specifically, we remember those we've lost in the year just gone,
Most of whom we put in a topical gag in one of our riffs.
leading to their instant death just as they were about to be released.
This year alone, we've lost fabulous jokes about Paul Mitchell from The Floaters.
That was probably quite a suspect joke anyway, Ian.
Architect Richard Rogers.
I'm not sure that one really stood up.
Stephen Sondheim.
Bit of a one-note repeating gag, that.
Bell hooks.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't do that one now.
Robbie Shakespeare of Sly and Robbie.
There was quite a clever one about Edward de Vere, the Earl of Oxford, supposedly writing "Boots, here we go," etc.
We'd just like to say, in memory of all those deceased.
You selfish bastards, couldn't you have waited?
We cut so many boffo-woofer gags out of respect for you incompetent breathers.
So that is our highlight of the year in Riff.
Mortal gits. But seriously for a moment, my genuine absolute highlight of the year is all the very many hilarious riffs by Bridget and Mary Jo.
That I contributed gags to.
Yeah, and despite all that, they really did do well. And it's been lovely for me to have a break. We hope you're having a lovely break too. Happy holidays.
Let's do this again sometime.
God, it makes me want to puke.
Oh, thank you so much for that, you guys. That
Could they
that
hear
is
us
so
laughing?
great. Yeah, well, yes, over it, yes.
Okay.
But yeah, that was great. Josh says
That's amazing.
this is what
I can't believe they did that.
this is what the Oscars in remembrance should always be. I agree.
Like, all these great jokes. I can't believe they did that for us. They did a whole bit that should be on like a RiffTrax, but they did that for us.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks so much. You guys are awesome. You guys have always been awesome to us, and quite frankly, we don't deserve it.
No,
but-
we don't.
Yeah.
We definitely don't.
But, yeah. So yeah, I'm really glad that warms my heart.
Yeah. That brings us to RiffTrax, just the jokes of the year. We only had 3 this year, and
Yeah, I
early.
think that's a record.
I mean, I think we had 3 last year too, but we might have had 4. I know
Well, if
they
it's only
kind of did
like-
more last year than they normally do, but this year, Wonder Woman 1984, which was a Bridget and Mary Jo riff, Face Off, of course, and Money Plane, and the early voting. It was all leaning toward Wonder Woman 1984. I really thought that was going to run away with it, but Money Plane kind of took off, if you will, and it charged back and ended up winning. Sorry, that was really lame.
It took off.
It took off. But yeah, Money Plane got first place. Face Off narrowly beat Wonder Woman 1984 for second place, and Wonder Woman took third. Overall, I'm not surprised. Money Plane was outstanding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I loved Face Off and Money Plane a lot.
Yes.
I was just like with Face Off, I was like, it gave me such great like early RiffTrax nostalgia. And by like early, I mean not like the first year of this or even the second year, but like 2000, like year 3, 2008
Yeah.
through like 2012. It gave me like that kind of like what I would like when I was first introduced to RiffTrax through The Dark Knight, like that kind of like high octane. We're gonna watch this bad movie with Mike, Kevin, and Bill, and it's gonna be like this whole new experience with them. It was really exciting. And Money Plane is the kind of thing that RiffTrax should be doing now, I think. I mean, we'll get to that later. But yeah, it's I'm very happy that they did both of them this year. They're both great entries.
Yes. They were both outstanding. Josh said that my joke didn't really land.
That
That was just as bad as mine, Josh. But yeah, between Money Plane and Face Off, they were both so good. I mean, and Face Off is that classic. You got Nick Cage, so you can't
Why do
really.
they let him in movies? Why is he an actor? Why do
I
people
don't
give
know.
him money to wreck their movie?
Because they're like, we're gonna put Nick Cage in our movie, and so many more people are gonna watch it.
Okay, well, here's what I want. Here's what I want. I want there to be lots of cool explosions. Okay, like I don't want it. I want there to be lots of cool explosions. I don't want to do a lot of talking. I just I want you to show me to be a badass. That's my terrible Nick Cage impression.
Well, you're not wrong about that. So I sent a. Oh man, I have to read this. Okay,
tell me why you're laughing.
Otherwise
Otherwise, I'm going to think you're laughing at me.
I just sent a congratulatory message to Matthew J. Elliott for them winning RiffTrax Presents VOD of the Year, and he just responded.
What did he say?
With and I had a guy in a bison costume all ready to storm RiffTrax HQ if the vote didn't go my way.
Oh no! Oh, okay. So when Matthew makes January 6th jokes, that's fine. But when I do it, no, Dave, what are you doing?
That's because he's British. He can make fun of us more than we can.
That. Okay.
Yes, it's okay when he says it.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. But okay.
No. So our next category, RiffTrax Live of the Year. Obviously, we only had 2 this year, and it was Hobgoblins and Amityville: The Evil Escapes. And 56% of the votes went to Hobgoblins for live show of the year. And like you said, Dave, for me, it was a coin flip. I really enjoyed both of them. And I'm really excited to get Amityville on VOD. And speaking of Amityville on VOD, I have a special message for you guys from the one and only Connor Listoka from RiffTrax.com. If it'll
Hey, True Blue Riffcast. Connor Listoka here. I wanted to share my favorite moments of 2021 with you. I think that they would have to be a tie between the 2 shorts we did at both of our RiffTrax live shows this year. Obviously, we didn't get to do any of those in 2020, but we found 2 great shorts that went along with our Amityville and, Lord, what was the other live show we did this year? And the other one. But we found both these shorts, hung on to them for months, if not a year, to try to get them in front of as many people as possible. And they were the Life in a Medieval Town short, starring the Seneschal and Carl the Weaver, and then It's Your Accident, which is the workplace safety short that was mainly about a guy who considered tomatoes fruits, and another guy who shared a hospital bed with him that had the same name, who also loved to eat tomatoes raw out of a fruit basket. And they both sort of just embodied to me the weird nature of what we're doing, showing both of these shorts about a guy who wraps green fabric on his head and trades a cow for slippers, and then this weird thing where a guy got his thumbs cut off but was mainly concerned that another guy named Mike was going to eat his tomatoes. Showing those to thousands of people all across the country in hundreds of theaters before they came to see our feature films is just a special thing to me, because it is nice to know that there are so many people out there who find these weird things that we find funny also to be funny. And plus, we worked a incredibly obscure John Dacre reference into the It's Your Accident short. So watching those 2 live in a theater back with other people were probably my favorite moments, RiffTrax moments, and some of my favorite moments in general of 2021. Hope everyone else got to see them in theaters. I think Amityville 4 is coming out probably by the time you all hear this. So take a look, watch them, and we'll hopefully have something good cooked up for live shows in 2022. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right, so there you go. Connor's favorite moments were the shorts from the live shows, which were both great shorts. And
the one
no,
where
Connor,
at a castle where there's no sound.
No, Connor, Amityville 4 has not come out yet. But that should be out, I believe, tomorrow. I think that's the release for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've seen. But
You're speculating.
I
you
am
don't know
speculating.
that for a fact.
But if he said that, and he knew when he'd send it to me and when we were doing our show, so yeah. So I'm just gonna take that to mean, yeah, it's gonna be out tomorrow. But I didn't have the Life in a Medieval Town and accident. What was it? You're the accident or something like that. Accidents, it's your fault. Something like that.
They're all eating tomatoes and stuff.
Yeah. I did not put that in, obviously, for Short of the Year, because those are included in the live shows.
Part of the RiffTrax live show, yeah.
Yep. But this year for shorts, we there was a ton of shorts, so I split them up. We had just for the Mike, Kevin, Bill shorts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 shorts to choose from, to vote on, and to the surprise of no one, Christmas Cracker took that one by storm. Oscar-nominated Christmas Crackers. And then Keep Off the Grass.
That's genuinely shocking.
Keep Off the Grass, which I know we discussed on one of the episodes here about the blowing pot. And then we had a tie for third place with the studio version of Rhythmic Ball Skills, or at least the short-only version, and Chimp the Fireman coming in at third place. And the Bags was shortly behind that, the studio version of the Bags.
Now, had this been 2017, the Bags would have run away with it.
Oh, yeah, totally. But, I mean, when you're up against Christmas Cracker, you know, that weirdness sticks in people's minds for a while. Before we get to our VOD of the year, we have one other message from our buddy who was on the podcast for our special Haunted Ween episode, Jesse Shade.
Hey everybody, Jesse Shade from Awfully Good Movies here, and frequent True Blue Riffcast guest. And by frequent, I mean only one time, but hopefully I'm going to get a second. But anyway, just wanted to share with you my favorite RiffTrax memory of 2021, wherein we finally got vaccinated and got to see the VIP live show of Hobgoblins that I was promised for the $2,000 that I submitted on behalf of Deanna Dolphin, who I substituted for, and got to meet the very lovely Lauren Sisk. And our favorite memory from that trip wasn't just seeing the show, it was more so just me talking with Kevin about his memories of Baby Ghost and suffering through that riff, as we all know was very painful for him. Let out a big F-bomb off in the studio in between takes. So that's my favorite memory of talking with Kevin, a great gentleman and truly a defining moment of 2021. Happy podcast, guys. Watch Awfully Good Movies on YouTube. Thanks again. Get vaccinated. Bye now.
All right, Jesse, we do definitely plan on asking you back. It was a lot of fun having you on when we did the Haunted Ween episode. So we'll gladly welcome you back to the podcast anytime.
Yes, welcome back. Well, I mean, not welcome back now, but we will welcome you back. welcome back. I'm talking to you like you're here. Anyway, welcome back from the edit, everybody.
Now it's time for the big show, as it's called, RiffTrax VOD of the year. Oh,
it's a big bad show tonight.
Apparently, my tweet worked. According to Josh, RiffTrax just tweeted out the James Wan painting.
Did they? Good.
So I'm gonna go check that real quick.
Yeah, check it for both of us. Did they retweet us?
They quote tweeted the painting and said, "Can we buy this?" I would love to see that like hanging in the background of like a talking RiffTrax or something. That'd be fun. Oh man. Yes, RiffTrax VOD
You're welcome,
of
RiffTrax.
the year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 VODs released this year. Not counting the VOD of the Hobgoblins live show, of course. But that's a pretty decent amount of films, and there was some weird stuff in here. I mean, we started early in the year. We got Fungicide, Shrunken Heads, a movie that we talked about at great length.
Quite a bit. Very controversial.
Yes. Gumby the movie. We had San Francisco. We had Baby Ghost, Dangerous Men,
Ghost.
Father Frost, and, of course, Dancing It's On to wrap up 2021. And There was a lot of good stuff this year, but there was one movie that was the clear choice of Riff of the Year by the fans, and that, of course, is Gumby the movie. That was well deserving of that vote. Dancing It's On took second place, and then, believe it or not, we had a three-way tie for third place.
Seems
Between
like that shouldn't be.
between Double Dragon, Dangerous Men, and Father Frost. Baby Ghost would be the next one after that, and then Shrunken Heads just after Baby Ghost.
Can I say something about Baby Ghost?
Yeah.
I'm really, like, even now, I'm surprised at how much, like, after how much I personally built it up, how much I was disappointed with the Baby Ghost movie itself. The riff is fine, but, like, I thought it was going to be another roller gator, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel that it didn't make it into the top three. Like, I think it's fitting for what Baby Ghost is.
Yeah.
But like I said, we all love pancakes, but Baby Ghost not a great movie.
as far as a movie to watch being riffed, Roller Gator was more entertaining in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Dave, why don't we get your top three VODs of the year?
Okay. Mine fall generally within the same range as the survey. So my vote for number 3 goes to Dancin' It's On. My number 2 goes to Dangerous Men. Now, had it not been like I think any other year, Dangerous Men would even have given Suburban Sasquatch a run for its money.
I think so too.
Yeah, for Riff of the Year. If they had riffed it in like 2017 or 2016, it would have been Riff of the Year, far and away. But Gumby, I think, it just like everything kind of like about it. I have to go with Gumby as Riff of the Year.
Yeah, that I would agree with that. I think my choices were a little bit more difficult to make, simply because of Father Frost being added into the mix, because that was my all-time favorite MST episode, and so that kind of adds to the nostalgia of it for me a little bit, but obviously it's something brand new under the RiffTrax banner. I think...
Have you still not figured it out? Guys,
I think...
Okay, I'm going to interrupt Jeremy because he was like an hour ago when we started doing show prep, he still had not decided. And he like what his numbers 3 would be. And he's like, oh, well, I still haven't decided. And I think it's clear he still has decided.
All right, I'm going to make a snap judgment because that's the best way for me to do things. Father Frost 3rd, Dancin' It's On 2nd,
Okay.
Gumby the movie number 1. Riff of the Year, Gumby the movie. That part I had no
unanimous.
doubt on. I knew Gumby the movie was going to be my number 1. It was just between those other 3. But yeah, Gumby the movie was... I mean, we talked about this when we talked about the movie itself, that it was the very strong contender for Riff of the Year.
Oh, yeah, at the time, we were like, this is Riff of the Year material, yeah.
Even as crazy as Dangerous Men was, and as... I mean, I don't even know how to explain Dancin' It's On any more than what we already talked about. And Father Frost being that kind of outlier there, nothing came close to Gumby for me at all. Gumby has to be Riff of the Year. And I'm glad that it got voted that by
Gumby,
the fans.
So Yeah, so Gumby, you're the third annual Riff of the Year winner, the
Woo!
True Blue Riff Cast. What was it for last year? Did we have it? Because last year was controversial because I think that you picked. I think the
Let me
survey
check.
picked Suburban Sasquatch, and you picked.
I think I picked
Blast.
Light Blast, didn't I? Yeah, I think I picked Light Blast for mine because.
Sorry, you cut out there for a second.
Sorry. But yeah, I think I picked Light Blast for mine. But that was more of
Okay.
the personal.
Right.
I don't know.
So,
I can't
but
really.
like as far as Suburban Sasquatch was Riff of the Year last year, I think.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, I don't think we did a survey.
I don't think we did a survey,
I
but
think
that
we
was.
both picked the Visitor.
Yes, it was definitely the Visitor.
So-
Yeah. And I think Attack of the Super Monsters.
You and I picked. Yeah,
was
you and
second.
I both picked the Visitor. Number 2. Yeah. So yeah, there it is. Gumby. Congrats.
Gumby.
Congrats,
Yes.
you stretchy creation.
Gumby won. Gumby the movie won. I mean, Gumby the movie #1 won.
Well, say about it.
Well, we're gonna wrap
that's right.
things up.
Gumby won.
Yeah, Gumby won. Yes, we're gonna wrap things up the same way that we usually do. We're gonna talk about our hopes and thoughts about 2022. And the main reason we're bringing this up is because just the other day, yesterday or the day before, RiffTrax put up a thing just like, hey, what do you want to see us do in 2022? So that kind of had both of us thinking about it a little bit. And I'm going to go first because I know there's one part of this that Dave has a little bit to say about it. So
Yeah.
I'll give you my list first.
Yeah.
Because I have a short list and Dave's
Okay.
got a little bit of a rant to go on. So for I actually wrote mine down. For RiffTrax 2022 wishes, I would love to see riffs of the following movies: Accelerator from our friend David Giancola.
Yes.
Frogs, a weird environmentalist movie from the late 60s, early 70s, somewhere around there, about killer animals, because the frogs don't actually kill anybody, it's all the other animals. The Hercules from 1984, I believe it was, the one with Lou Ferrigno, just because that one is bonkers. The Dungeon Master and BMX movie Rad, co-starring Aunt Becky, Lori Loughlin, from before her Full House days. And then
And before
I
her
would like
prison
to
days.
see, before her prison days. Oh man, and I would like to see a live show of at least one of the following: either Ghost House, Roller Gator, or The Guy from Harlem. Any one of those makes it as a
Why
live
not
show.
all 3?
Because they have to have some other stuff in there. Some movies
Yeah, they
haven't
gotta have
done
something
before.
that like other people will. Yeah, something other people see now. How long has it been since like? Before I get into my thing, I'm just gonna bounce off of what you were saying. Sort of like recap the conversation we had before the show. It's been a while since RiffTrax has done a 4 show live season.
Yes.
They used to do it all the time. Not so much anymore. I think the last one that I can say for sure had 4 live shows was 2016. I think.
It sounds about right.
Yeah, so I know 2015 for sure. I think I'd have to go back and look at 2016, but they used to do a whole bunch. Now we do 2, and I think Jeremy said we'll be lucky if we get 3 this year. I think we might get 3 just to like make up for lost time and stuff like that.
Maybe.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it was just 2. But my RiffTrax wish list would include a 4 live show season. I don't know how practical it is, but that's like my wish list. It's kind of like return to those glory days of 4 live shows a year. And my list for the live shows of previously done RiffTrax is the same as yours. Guy from Harlem, Roller Gator, and Ghost House. If they do any one of those 3 in 2022 for live shows, I will just be over the moon. Like any one of them would be great. Like Guy from Harlem or Roller Gator in the summer, or Ghost House in October. That would be fantastic. But I don't think they've done a December live show in a very long time.
No, they haven't. I think the mail's here. Sorry. I'm going to mute for a second.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, am I taking the reins?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, you got it. You're talking your stuff anyway, so.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and start while Jeremy gets the mail because he's heard this before. So what I would like to see in 2022, it's not really what I would like to see specifically. It's more of kind of like a return to like kinds of movies that they used to. I have a cat crawling on my head. Hi, buddy. Hey, buddy, you can get down. Buddy, get down. There you go. You spaz. What are you doing? I just had a cat crawling on my head, everybody. I can't see the chat. But stay there. What I would like to see is sort of like, as somebody who's been around RiffTrax for a very long time. I've been a member of RiffTrax since December 2008. So it's been what, 13 years, something like that. And
somewhere around there.
Yeah, I've been around for it's been a very long time.
Ancients
my
of
cat
the ancients.
all over my head. Yeah, yep, that's what Bill calls us, the ancients of the ancients. I'd like to see, like, I think specifically since about the last couple of years, we've been getting a lot of kind of like 80s action horror, like dystopia kind of like B movies. And I know those are really popular with a lot of people, like especially with like a lot of hardcore misties. Personally, I'm kind of over it. I mean, not that like I don't like movies like Ghost House or things like that, or it's really more 90s, but it's something that's more 90s is Future Force and Future Zone. But those are like the kinds of movies that they would release in these kind of like 80s B movies. And that was fine, but that was like 10 years ago. And they've done so many since. And I'm kind of not interested in those kinds of movies anymore, because once you've seen 2 or 3 dozen of those kinds of movies, it's just like you've kind of seen them all. So yeah,
They're
so
kind of
like
samey.
anything with like, you know, garbage cans on fire, the future with some kind of robot man, and like they go into some disgusting strip club. Like I'm not interested in that kind of VOD anymore.
Yeah.
What I would like to see is kind of like a return to the staggered kind of release schedule that we had from, say, like mid 2011 through 2015, 2016, of like they would have a really strong MP3 release, and they would have a really strong VOD release. Because, you know, look at things like Money Plane and Face Off. Those are excellent, but I highly doubt they could get the rights for those to release on VOD.
Right.
And they're like these very like exciting kind of, you know, action schlock movies. And I wouldn't mind them doing more mainstream stuff again. maybe not like do all the Marvels. I don't know how interested I would be in that. But just like I would say start mixing it up again. Now, as far as VODs go, what I would like to see is more stuff like in the last 3 years. Like the standouts have been like these crazy experimental kind of movies, like Attack of the Super Monsters and Gumby, Dangerous Men. Dangerous Men doesn't count as like 80s action schlock because it was filmed in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s and released in 2005. I'd like to see, like Suburban Sasquatch. That's the kind of thing, like stuff that's not made by like professional movie makers, like
Feeders 3.
Yeah, Feeders 3. Is there a Feeder? Oh, is there going to be Feeders 3?
Yeah, they were working on it. I don't know if they ever finished it. Let's see. I'll look that up while you're.
But I think like dancing and stuff that is made by like amateurs in like the year in like the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s. I'd like to see more independent stuff. I think a really good example of this is Star Raiders from the 2019 live show.
Yeah.
I would like to see more stuff like that because instead of, I kind of feel like RiffTrax has gone in a direction, and I understand why, because that's where the audience is. But it's gone in the last couple of years. It's gone in a direction of kind of being the movie selection has kind of been, MST3K light. Like
some
those
of it
kinds
feels
of movies.
like that.
So I would like to see a return to like a more kind of like RiffTrax feel. But I really hope this doesn't sound like I'm complaining a lot, but these are the kinds of things that I would like to see RiffTrax do in 2022. Yeah. Me personally, just for my tastes, and not for nothing. We touched on this before, but our short of the year for 2020, which was Kid's Guide to the Internet by Conan Shawner.
Yeah.
We talked about that. It's just like, and we were. We get why, they don't do a lot of stuff. Kitty, no, get down. No, get down. Sorry. You can't be on that. Psycho. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear Fanto, but Kid's Guide to the Internet. I think material that's like that comes out of the 90s, like stuff that's newer, and like it's been 30 years since a lot of that stuff. I think Kid's Guide to the Internet was like 97, so it's been 23, 24 years. And so the nostalgia stuff with guys like us who just turned 40 or are in their early 40s, that kind of stuff is resonating with us now. I mean, I think that I don't think it's unfair to say that the the Misty universe and like the RiffTrax audience is getting a little bit older.
Yeah.
I don't really see a lot of like super, and that was one of my criticisms of the MST3K revival, was that it didn't attract any new fans. The audience isn't growing as far as Misties go. RiffTrax fans, a little bit different. But generally we're getting a little bit older. And I think that, stuff from the 90s, even the 2000s, is starting to resonate in like our nostalgia bits a little bit. So if we can get material like that,
that'd be great. And I know there's a ton of it out there. That
seems fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. There has to be.
Oh, there is. So, I remember having to watch a bunch of stuff. with some of the kids that my mom babysat. They had these videotapes that they just loved watching, and it was the most just inane, asinine things, like shorts of like there was supposed to be like educational stuff. It was there. Any of the hard hat Harry stuff would be prime for this. That was a live action thing. It wasn't like Bob the Builder. This is something different.
Like if Reading Rainbow was public domain, I would like to see them do Reading Rainbow segments. But yeah, I mean, I would just like to see them do things like Suburban Sasquatch and Kid's Guide to the Internet, that kind of thing. That's going to be like new and just like new and exciting as far as the RiffTrax experience goes.
Yeah, I agree. Looking up Feeders 3, it looks like it's got an anticipated release sometime this year, and it's being released by a company, Wild Eye Releasing. And I was looking at their Twitter feed just now, and they have
Brothers?
No, Wild Eye Releasing, the company that's going to be putting the movie out for the Polonia brother. But they have a movie up here that I kind of want to see now. It came out 2021. No. It's a new Amityville film.
What?
Amityville in the Hood.
Oh no!
It's about
no,
a gang that uses the Amityville property to grow pot.
Oh, for God's sake! Is it supposed to be funny? Are they trying to be ironic?
I don't know. And they're attacked by a rival gang, and then the demon starts attacking.
How do you spell problematic?
But production on Feeders 3 started in September, so hopefully
we'll see.
We'll see. I honestly love Feeders and Feeders 2, so the riffs are it's some of that weird stuff that's not like mainstream media, not like big studio productions, and that's the kind of stuff that resonates a lot with us. I mean, and it's the same thing even with Manos. Like, that was not a
Manos
studio
was not
picture.
Made by professional.
It was made by
neither was The Room, and neither was Birdemic.
Yeah, and we love all of those movies and riffs. So give us more of that. Yeah. We don't need stuff. It's fine to do stuff from the 80s and the 70s and stuff like that. That's fine. Yeah. But like Dave said, that's not all we want. I like getting some of the newer stuff. Like that was what I appreciated about Atomic Eden, was that, I mean, that movie came out like 2015 or something like that. It wasn't a very old film, and I mean, even if it was just Atomic Eden.
Oh, Atomic Eden. Oh, right. Okay. No, yeah. Here's the thing. I was for sure that came out in the 90s. Apparently, it came out in not the 90s. Like, I had it pegged. I remember I had it pegged between 2001 and 2003.
Yeah.
Then I found out it came out in 2015. I was wrong. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that came out a little later than that. A little more recent.
So yeah, stuff from the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, not made by professional filmmakers. It can have names in it. It can have like Casper Van Dien from Star Raiders. And Cynthia Rothrock. If you can, I mean, she's a name to us.
Yeah.
But Freddie Williamson, who's amazingly still alive.
Yeah.
But like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Give us more of that. We will eat it up. I mean, again, look at the results from the poll for this year.
Yeah, it was Gumby, which was outside the outside the studio system a little bit, even though Gumby is technically a name, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But
from 30 years prior, though.
Dancing. Yeah, you look at Dancing, and you look at Dangerous Men. I think that's what people want to see, or at least that's what we want to see.
Yeah, and it does seem we seem to have our finger on the pulse of the community, going by how similar all of our choices were for these.
Yeah.
But congratulations again for Gumby the movie for Riff of the Year, and Invasion of the Bee Girls from Matthew J. Elliott and Ian Potter for winning RiffTrax Presents VOD of the Year. And we look forward to seeing you guys in our next season, which will be starting next week at some point. Hopefully it might be the week after, depending on my new work schedule. But we'll let you guys know first on the Patreon and on Twitter and stuff like that. If you want to become a patron and support the Riffcast, you can do so at patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffcast, or you can support us by subscribing right here on Twitch. And make sure you follow us on here if you don't already. That way you can you'll be alerted anytime we go live. You won't miss a show, unless obviously you're busy with other stuff and can't actually watch it. But that's the best way to keep track of things around here. And
So listen to us.
Yes, and I'm Jeremy. You can find me on Twitter at PBNAwesome. You can send me emails, jeremy@trueblueriffcast.com, and you can follow the podcast at TBRiffcast on Twitter.
And I'm Dave Chadwick. You can check me out at davechadwick.info. I'm on Twitter at DChadwickAuthor. And buy all my books on Amazon.
Yes, definitely buy Dave's books. He's a good writer, guys. Monkey was outstanding.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
If you still haven't
very,
read
very
Monkey
much.
yet, you need to check it out because it was very, very well done. I very much enjoyed it. I actually
I'm
kind of
glad
want to
you
read
did.
through it again.
Yeah. And everybody out there, the audiobooks are getting done. We have Happy Valley, which was released in December, and the other audiobooks are coming along.
Yay.
So, yeah.
Including the one from Josh Flowers.
Colette, yeah.
Yeah. From
she's doing
Mrs. Josh Flowers.
Yeah, she's doing Son of Santa, and she's amazing.
We will see everybody on the first episode of Season 4 coming soon.
Rock till you die.